Hi everyone, my name is Luis Alonso. I am research scientist at the City Science Group, MIT Media Lab. Let's talk about the impact of the Cityscope in Andorra. Andorra is a very tiny, small country between Spain and France. How they became a world reference. That's something that we want to talk about. And I have to say that the Living Lab in Andorra and the collaboration with the MIT Media Lab is part of this success. So how this happened? Okay, so we start in 2014 with a very small group of people, the energy company, the telecom company, the university, and the Secretary of State from the government. They were small, but they were committed to the success. So that's very important. Unlikely partners working together for the common good of the country. That was 2014. Now, what we have is all the ministers working together. We have most of the companies and the industry working together in the country, sharing data, more than 151 shops. They have international connections with universities and the industry, and they have merged all the research institutions that they had in the country. They have clustered and put it together in only one institution at Tuatec. That was our lab. The sister lab that we built over there became the seed of the new research body of Andorra. So that's one of the huge success, like centralize all the research in this lab. Thanks to that, they were ready. They were ready for the pandemic. When in 2020, we were facing the pandemic, Andorra was the first country testing the entire population, and it was in Forbes where they say US needs to learn from them. That happened because it was this group of people, they were super used to work with data and they were commit to the success. We helped them a little bit. We were looking with them through all this data. We correlate that information with the mobility data in order to understand if the policies that the government was deploying were successful or not, what was the impact of these policies, etc., etc. I encourage you to read our paper. Everything is there. But how this start? How this happened? First of all, we were very lucky because in Andorra we had access to anonymized and secure data, but very diverse data. So it was the energy data, the free Wi-Fi from the streets, the information from the shops, but also the Twitter, the cultural heritage data. We were having access to the TripAdvisor data and Instagram data and telecom data, like the CDR data, that is information of cell phones in the towers, but also much fine-grained data like the RNC data, where you can see people moving with an accuracy of between 30 and 300 meters. As you can see, each of these data, they had their own module to visualize, their own module for the Cityscope. So before deploying this in the Cityscope platform, we always have modules where we can understand, analyze, and visualize the data. And that's what we are showing here. So this is how, when we combine all these elements, we can make a more complex visualization in the Cityscope by correlating the data. So here we can see in blue, French visitors, in orange, Spanish visitors, and then we can see the impact of these tourists in the congestion of the country. Also, we could see many other different things. We could see how people were impacting in the shopping streets, the different events, how were that impacting into environment, into mobility, etc., etc. And we built other modules, so we help them to understand, okay, what is the impact of the events that are happening in Andorra? How are impacting to congestion? Are they bringing new tourists? Are they impacting into environment? They are successful in terms of income, people coming to the country, etc., etc. Also, we help them to build tools in order to understand how to buy energy in a more accurate way. So Andorra needs to buy 90% of the energy to Spain and France. So we help them to understand how tourists and historical data can help them to be more accurate when they buy this energy, how tourists is impacting in their energy. That's important. Also, we help them to build their own tools in order to understand energy production. They build the solar scope, where they are understanding the impact of deploying solar panels in Andorra, so they can produce more energy than now. And this is how looks like the Cityscope in Andorra today. This is a fantastic tool for community engagement. It has been used several times for that, but the ministers, they were asking, can I have this in my phone? So we built a first platform for our students at MIT, but this tool, it was even too complex. It was too many buttons, too many things. So the Andorra team at Tuatec, they simplified the entire thing into a almost real-time tool where the ministers, in a very simple way, they could understand the impact of tourists, the movement, the impact in the environment, etc., etc. Also, so when we don't have data, we usually deploy sensors, our termites. So we have deployed sensors in the schools of Andorra through our educational program because we were interested in understanding environmental impacts, well-being, and air quality. Again, that was very successful because thanks to that deployment, now we are trying to validate our simulations models of how COVID is impacting indoor spaces. So we have sent also a new CO2 sensors in Andorra in order to see if we can validate our models and if we can understand the dynamic of COVID in indoor spaces. Also, the collaboration with us has built new legislation in Andorra. So now they can fly drones, they can test drones in the cities. That's something very important for them. Also, autonomous vehicles can be tested in Andorra. This is our PEV back in 2015. Now has grown up. This is the PEV a few years ago and today. And Andorra was looking into this and understanding that technology doesn't grow in a tree. There is a process, and now they like to be part of that process. That's why they became a living lab where companies can test technology over there. The final thing that I want to talk about is the City Science Summit that the first one was held in Andorra. It was a huge success, and that's why we are still making City Science Summits. And I invite you to the City Science Summit 2021 in Taipei. Thank you very much. Have a good day.